Will You Marry Me? A Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction written and narrated by Miraculous. Artwork by _Alamanda_art on Instagram. You can find a link to their Instagram in the description box below. If you haven't already, go give them a like and a follow. All of the love if you use that social media platform, because we love supporting artists on this channel. Now then, if you're still listening, don't forget to not only like this video, but leave a comment to support the YouTube algorithm. If you don't know what to comment, put a Christmas proposal. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Woohoo! Now then, please enjoy Will You Marry Me? Adrian Agreste, 22 years old. To say Adrian was nervous would be an understatement. He'd say today was the day, but he'd been telling himself that for the past week. He even missed his opportunity to do this on their anniversary. Oh, bother. Who knew proposing to your already lifetime commitment would make a man so weak in the knees? Forget being Paris's bravest. Adrian felt like a combination of Jell-O and chicken nuggets when it came to offering Marinette his mother's ring. How did people do this? Did he think she'd say no? Of course not, but that didn't make it any easier with the last 7 days of trying his proof. Should he go with something grandiose after all? That way he couldn't dip out at the last moment? No! There hadn't been a right moment in the last week, which is why he hadn't proposed. And not like an, oh, there's no right moment because he didn't want to get down on one knee. No. He wanted this more than anything, without a doubt. He wanted to marry Marinette, despite how young the world thought they were. Heart throbbing, Adrian adjusted his layered button-up, his heart melting into goo when he saw Marinette wearing a Christmas sweater and black skirt across the street. He'd never be able to figure out how she was so cute. "Hey," she said. "Did you miss me?" "Always." He took her pink fingers in his, giving them a kiss before guiding a hand up his arm. "Shall we?" "Always." They walked in comfortable silence, blessed with a slightly warmer December than the past few years, which meant twinkly lights but no slosh on the sidewalks. The silence between them should be comfortable, but Adrian was so swaddled in anxiety he couldn't enjoy the solace it could bring. "All right, what is up?" Marinette tugged his hand to get him to stop walking. He swallowed. Of course his ever-observant girlfriend would notice. "I need to poop?" She narrowed her eyes. "No." "I'm not allowed to?" He raised an eyebrow, getting a smirk ready to crack a joke. "No, you haven't needed to poop for the last week straight. What are you hiding? Did your present not get here on time for Christmas or something?" Is Dad planning some kind of surprise party or something? What? Is Nino going to propose to Alia or something and you can't tell me? He felt the blood drain from his face, and she took a step back in surprise. "Wait, really?" "You think getting engaged is a bad thing?" Adrian fished. "What? No! No, I mean, it's appropriate, don't you think? I mean, I think that, Marinette cleared her throat, looking away from him. "That's cool." "Do you want to get married?" It was a casual question that weighed far heavier than the individual words would. "Me?" She turned to look at him, wearing the smile that she used to mask actual feelings with whenever they had an important discussion. "Like, in general? Or now? Or us?" He watched as Marinette turned back to the street and knew it was time. Lowering himself, Adrian reached into his pocket for the box that held his mother's ring, opening it and presenting it to her back. "Marinette?" It was all he needed to say. "What do you—" She stopped, her hands flying over her mouth as she turned around. She looked from his hands to him, then back to his hands before stifling a scream with her fingers. Even with her hands blocking the view, he could see the grin that matched her raised eyebrows so perfectly. "What do you say?" he said, his heart fluttering like he was the one getting proposed to and not the other way around. "Will you marry?" He fell onto his backside as Marinette all but tackled him, nearly losing his grip on the box and doing his best to shield her head from the sidewalk as they tumbled toward it. "Yes!" she exclaimed, propping herself up as her arms wrapped around his neck. "Yes, yes, yes!" "Really?" His grin didn't match his doubting word. "Yes!" She kissed his face over and over as he tried to sit up, and the witnesses clapped and whistled and spoke words of congratulations. While it wasn't ideal, he didn't have any friends around to film the moment, there were skilled paparazzi who had the job covered, and he wouldn't have to pay for the pictures despite being professionally done. Pros and cons. Really? Adrian found himself breathless, but he couldn't be sure if it was from the situation or from Marinette not letting him breathe between kisses. Yes! After a few more moments of excitement and squealing, he finally caught her attention long enough to get the ring on her as she bounced from anticipation, the two of them still toppled over on the sidewalk. "Do you like it?" he asked. He was more than happy to get her a different one, of course, but he hadn't talked to her about rings before and gambled his chances because, well, it was his mother's ring, and that meant a lot to him. "Yes!" She held her hand in front of her, admiring it. "Took you long enough." "Huh?" She stood, reaching to help him up. "Nothing. Never mind." "Did you—" How should he phrase it? "Were you waiting for me to propose?" "I didn't say that." "Since when?" "I mean, I wouldn't have said no if you asked me last year." "What?" His eyebrows shot up. Sure, he knew he'd marry this girl back then, but he didn't think she'd be ready. Or, like... Her voice got softer. "The year before?" "What?" "Or the year before that?" "You're kidding." He stared at her, dumbfounded. "No." "So wait." Adrian pressed his hands together in front of his face. "You're telling me we could have been married by now?" Marinette scrunched her lips and shrugged, glancing at the ring he put on her finger before looking him in the eye. "Black cat's luck?" "I didn't think you'd say yes!" "Babe, at 14 I had your birthday presents planned for the next 10 years. I promise I would have said yes." She planned his... Wait, no! That's not what's important right now. So... He stepped in and pulled her waist to his. "You'll marry me now?" "Yes, I do." "That's not proper grammar." "You dork." She craned her neck upward. "You're dork," Adrian corrected, bending slightly to press his lips to hers. It was met with cheers and clapping, although the crowd had begun to disperse. "My dork," she returned, her smile wide. Marinette slipped her fingers into his, a signal to start walking. She wasn't his girlfriend anymore. She was his fiancée. His grin matching hers, Adrien walked the streets of Paris with his fiancée, surrounded by twinkling street posts and the smell of cinnamon in the air. It truly was the most magical time of year, and it matched the magical feeling in his heart. Thank you, Christmas, for everything you've done for this relationship. And to think, this all started with a Santa hat and cardboard cutouts. Thank you so much for listening. If you're still here, comment Christmas magic, and you can head on to the next video. I recommend this one next. Thank you so much. Don't forget to hit that like button, and Merry Christmas. I will catch you in another one. Bye!